Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Team Lonely Child Boxing, keeping it real boxing, everything boxing, man. And we're going to get to the latest and the greatest in just a few secs. Got a couple guests that's going to pop in as the as we go through the show. But right now, as per usual, got to send out these links and, get ready for, what should be a nice little field show. I know everybody want to talk about the Super Bowl and Tom Brady and all of that. And congrats to him. He the GOAT. I wish Mahomes a speedy recovery from his injuries and, prayerfully that to get everything with him. But we're gonna get down with this boxing, man, keeping it real boxing, man, and we're gonna get everything popping. But of course, I gotta send out these links, get everybody, up on what we're doing, and then we'll be right with you. Yo, yo, what's popping, man? Got to send a couple links out, and then we gonna go from there. You know what I mean? And we gotta start this show off with a somber note as we lost one of our legends, one of the most impactful figures, and not only figures, and one of the most impactful families in the sport of boxing with Leon Spinks. Many people know him from his, big victory over Muhammad Ali years and years and years ago. And he fought just about everybody, you know, through his tenure and through his time, and from there, like I said, him, his brother Mike, even down to Corey Spinks, the offspring. They all have been meant so much to boxing and so many boxers. You cannot tell the story of boxing without talking about, Leon Spinks, man. Spinks Jinx is what they used to call him, man. Spinks Jinx, man. You know what I mean? And he's definitely an icon in the sport. He's definitely a legend in the sport. He definitely earned the right to, anything in boxing. Like I said, they was one of the best. When we look at families that have spanned through boxing, hit that family, the Spinks family is synonymous in the sport of boxing. I don't think they really got their roses like I think I would like to see them. We should have. It shouldn't. We shouldn't have had to wait till now at this moment to finally say, "Hey, we're gonna give Leon his roses." You know what I mean? Because I think Leon really deserves his roses. I mean, he should have been got his roses. I mean, like I said, that family has meant so much to the game, so much to the sport, so many moments that they had. And I mean, I don't want to talk about the moments, the thing that make me really realize, because we all remember Leon from the teeth. You know what I mean? We all remember that. The teeth was always synonymous. It's like Leon's teeth and Don King's hair and Muhammad Ali's rhymes are things that we were always gonna remember those guys by. You know what I mean? So yeah, just wanna show some love to brother Leon and his family and prayers going out to all those as they go through this moment. You know what I mean? Losing somebody like that, I know is always devastating, and we've lost a lot of legends in this last year and a half. You know, so like I said, R.I.P. Leon Spinks to Spinks family, R.I.P. to a boxing legend, and like I said, their family has always meant so much to the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? And we will always remember him for the moments and what he was able to bring to the table to the sport of boxing. So you know, again, R.I.P. R.I.P. to brother Leon and his family. You know what I mean? So rest in peace to them. Keeping them moving until our people come in. It came back out. Mark Breland has kind of unleashed on Deontay Wilder. On said quite a few things. How he thinks he's finished, and he will never beat Tyson Fury, and some old things and all that. Man, me personally, I know most people gonna say the stuff that Deontay Wilder said about him It's warranted that Mark Breland bounced back, and it's warranted that Mark Breland can say what he wanted to say, and it's warranted that Mark Breland should, say the things that he's saying. But me personally, I liked it better when Mark kept the high road. Take the high road. Mark, Mark, you have ingrained you have established yourself in the workings of boxing. You have established yourself as one of boxing's people. I sound low? Okay, my bad. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. But I was touching on Mark Breland. Mark Breland was speaking on Deontay Wilder earlier, and saying some, how he thinks he's finished, and how he thinks Deontay Wilder's done, and how, I just, like I said, I personally think I would like to see Mark Breland keep take the high road. You know what I mean? You're one of you're looked at very high in the sport of boxing. You're established in the sport of boxing. You're somebody in the sport of boxing. You are part of boxing history. So you don't have to. Nobody took nothing against Deontay Wilder, but nobody took what he said seriously. Not to the point that we think anything less of you, Mark Breland. Nobody thinks of you in that manner, Mark Breland. We know that you was basically just looking out for your fighter. You did what you had to do for your fighter. You was there, and the things you was trying to teach him, let's just be honest, he wasn't listening to you when you was training him. No disrespect to Deontay, but it was clear that, he had his own mind. He was his own boss. He was doing his own thing. And he didn't want to really, y'all two was just on a collision course to begin with. But nah, you don't have to respond by, bashing him. You don't have to respond by saying things about him. He still got life in him. Who still got life in him? You talking about Deontay or Mark Breland? You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, listen, Deontay, I wish him the best. I'm praying for, that his mind and his faculties and everything is still intact. It's clear that loss took a lot out of him in terms of his mental and everything else. But it's clear he needs to. This is not good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He got life in him. He got to tread smart, and he gonna have to tread lightly. He gonna have to really hone in. But Mark Breland coming out and saying the things he's finished, he's done, and all that. Of course, we know this is just Mark responding to the bashing that he took from Wilder, saying he put something in his drink, how he was disloyal, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. Again, Mark Breland, you've been around the sport of boxing for well over 30 years, if not more. We all know who you are in the sport of boxing. We all know what you do. You do not have to defend yourself against these allegations. Please, it's just not a good look to see this going on between our brethren and all that. This is not what we come to. This boxing or love and hip hop. You don't have to do that, man. Nobody's gonna buy into they think that, you put something in Deontay Wilder's Drake. Nobody think that you was out to sabotage him. It's clear he was getting beat up. The fight needed to be stopped. You did the right thing. You know what I mean? Moving forward, it came out, Tank put up a picture of a young up-and-coming fighter named Brian Norman that he was sparring. And it had a picture of his nose all messed up. And then somebody came back with another video or a picture saying that this picture is false. Then another person came back with saying that Brian Norman beat up Tank in sparring. I got a question for everybody. How much stock do we put in sparring nowadays? I know what sparring is for, and I know what it is, but I mean, we got different conflicting stories about how important sparring is, or what happened in sparring and what's said and what's not. Because, nowadays, I mean, it's coming out every day. More and more spar stories are coming out of who did what to who in sparring and all that. I just want to know, when did we start putting that much emphasis on it? Now, here's my take on it. I don't care what they did in sparring. You know what I mean? I want to see what this kid can do, Brian Norman, as his fight coming up soon. I want to see what he does in the actual ring before I say, okay, yeah, maybe he did beat up Tank in sparring. Let's see what you do in the ring under the lights. And let's see what you do when the fight happens, and then we'll go from there. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit there and say some guy that he hasn't even established himself in the sport of boxing. What does it mean? Anything he did in sparring at this point, you got to establish yourself. You know what I mean? And then I'll say, okay, well, maybe he did beat Tank up. Maybe it is, and put some stock into it. But a lot of people keep claiming they beat up Tank and Spawn. I mean, can you beat him up in an actual fight? That's what we gotta. That's what we gotta find out. But I don't care who. I don't care who's telling the truth at this point. It's really not that deep to me. But I just want to know, as a general question to those. I mean, let me know in the comments how much stock do y'all really put in sparring? Because I remember we said when it came out that Earl Spence had a rather impressive spar session with Floyd Mayweather. They said, well, it's just sparring. All right, it's just sparring. Is it or is it not? Then it came out that Ryan Garcia was sparring with Canelo or training with Canelo. Then they made it the biggest deal. Let me know. I want to know, does it mean something? Does it not mean something? I don't know. But moving forward, Ugas came out and said he's open to fighting either Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence. Now, me personally, I owe Ugas an apology because when they first gave him the belt via stripping Manny Pacquiao and giving him the belt, I thought that I came out and I said, well, Ugas ain't a champion to me because he didn't fight the champion. I forgot he actually should have been a champion because the night he fought Sean Porter, we all thought he won that fight. We all thought he beat Sean, and Sean got a decision. So I'm gonna retract what I said. Ugas is right to feel like he's a real champion because he fought an actual champion, a fight that he should have won, a fight that he should have got the decision, and he didn't get it, and he had to go another route to get a title. But yeah, he should have been an actual champion at this moment. So with that being said, and he's manning up to the plate and saying he's willing to fight either Crawford or Spence, whoever want to fight him, who's ever willing to fight him, and he wants to fight them to get as a unified title fight. So I mean, I got to take my hat off to him. He's not sitting there saying, "Oh man, I'm the champion. I want to hide behind the belt, or I want to fight some keep busy fights, or fight tune-ups to keep the belt." He's saying, "Hey man, I'm ready to fight Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence right now. I want to cash in," and I like that. Personally. I think he's gonna get beat up by either one of them. But I'm willing to watch the fight. I fry the chicken. I fry the chicken for that fight. I would definitely fry the chicken for Ugas versus Spence. I fry the chicken for Ugas versus Crawford. I think that both of them, even though stylistically they both present different types of fight for him, I like those fights though because they're exciting fights, they strong fights, they fights that we can all get around to see, and then finally we can put away the PBC Terrence Crawford thing. Plus, hopefully he leaves Top Rank, and we ain't got to worry about that anymore. You know what I mean? And then later on in this year, we can get the fight we all want, so we can all put that to bed and leave that alone. But right now, I just like the fact that Ugas is inserting himself in the equation to say, listen, whichever one of y'all want to step up to the plate and get this work, I'm willing to get that work. And that's what we want that's what we want to hear fighters say. Teofimo Lopez, he's saying he wants to step up and fight the big fights, but I'm not buying anything from the Top Rank side of things because we all know what happens with that. And I'm not gonna keep beating the dead horse on the whistle name thing. But again, shout out to Ugas. I owe you an apology. I did say to me you wasn't a champion, but I forgot about the Sean Porter fight, and you are deserving of being called a world champion because you really did win that fight that night, and you didn't get the decision. No disrespect to you, Sean Porter, but what this needs to break down to is this. I'm sitting there saying, if he picks Crawford, what does that do for Spence? Is Spence going to fight Pacquiao? Is Spence going to fight Sean again? Is he going to fight Thurman? All I want is from the rest of this year for us to see quality fights. I don't want to see no mismatches. I don't want to see a Crawford against a no-namer. I don't want to see Spence against a no-namer. You know what I mean? We got enough quality fights to make this happen. See what I'm saying? Or enough fights to keep us, busy. I want one of them to kind of get a hold of Keith Thurman so we can put that to bed too. Everybody's claiming that this person is scared of Keith and that person's scared of Keith. I just want to go and get Keith his moment, get him out of the way. But like I said, appreciate you, Ugas, for stepping up to the plate and see what's going on. Some of these topics we probably going to have to rehash when my guests come on, but, we're going to let them, chime in as they come through, man. And like I said, y'all got any questions, any comments, let me know, man. You know what I mean? We open, man. Jemell Charlo went on quite the rant the other day, calling out everybody, saying, and I understand what Jemell is upset about, and I understand why he feels disrespected about, because he's won just every belt in his weight class except one, and he feels that if he's not getting the respect he deserves. He feels that why does these other fighters get to fight people from this weight class and that weight class and that weight class and keep their status and keep their respect while he's holding down 154, winning all the belts and beating whoever you put in front of them. He's beat every contender, everybody he's fought, and he just feel a way about that. So I understand where he's coming from. You know what I mean? I understand where he's coming from in a sense of he just won his proper respect. And he want to, like most people, how it generally works is this: once you get to your weight class, you start fighting, you win a world title, you want a big funny fight, you want to fight somebody with some status, you want to fight somebody with a name, or you want to get the respect of people or people around who want to see these type of fights. He should have been up for Fighter of the Year. Dirk James should have been up for Trainer of the Year. Don't understand why these things didn't happen, but yeah, that's what's going on, and that's what Jemell really is upset about. People misconcepting all the stuff he's saying and how he's yelling and screaming and all that. But through it all, what he's basically just saying is he wants his proper respect and he wants his opportunity to get a big fight, because when you got 4 titles, you want to be undisputed and you want to be the man, but you also want to be compensated and treated as if you're the best thing, one of the pound for pound best fighters of the world. Because when they talk about the pound for pound list, you don't see Jemell's name up there, and it should be. When you hear the people talk about the best fighters in boxing, they don't really say his name that much, but they should. You know what I mean? He's done. He's delivered. He's done the work. He wants the prestige, he wants the money, and he wants a big fight. And it may be time for him too to join his brother at 160, but who knows? But right now, I think what Jemell basically trying to say is put some respect on his name. Put some respect on his name, man. That's what that man's saying. He's saying put some respect on his name, man. And I ain't mad at him, man. Shout out to Jemell Charlo, man. Keep doing your thing. You need a PR rep, though. I think most of them fighters need a PR rep. For real, no disrespect, because folks just think you mad at the world, but I think when he really just want to say is that, man, he want to be a champion. What up, Wally? What's going on, man? How you doing over there? Shout out to my man, Main Event. What's up with you? You know what I mean? So, anybody got any questions, man? Before I go to the next topic, and then we get to the anything boxing, whatever you want to talk about, man. Keep it boxing, man. What's up, my man MJ? How you doing? What's popping, man? Gabe Rosado recently called out Boo Boo Andrade, saying that to him in his mind, well, he didn't say in his mind, he just said he beat Daniel Jacobs. Now he's moving on to bigger fights, and he wants Demetrius Andrade. I think Demetrius Andrade need to fight somebody. He need to fight somebody. He need to do somebody. I hate to see somebody's career just waste away like that. Such a talented fighter. And we bring him up quite often. And we said his name quite a few times. But like I said, you just hate to see somebody of that talent, or that status, or that ability to just sit there and career just go to waste. You know what I mean? I think it's a lot he can do. It's a lot that need to be done. But like I say, at least get him in the ring with somebody right now. Just get him in the ring with somebody, even if it's Gabe Rosado, which is no disrespect to Gabe. Gabe Rosado is 2 fighters' stories that I always look at is Gabe Rosado and a dude named Donnell Boone. Because these dudes did what everybody claimed they want to see. They say, I want to see you fight the best. I want to see you fight the best. I want to see you do this, and I want to see that. Well, Gabe Rosado done fought everybody. Gabe Rosado's fought Daniel Jacobs. He fought Triple G. He fought Kid Chocolate. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the ring with anybody. What's the other guy name? I can't think of his name right now. Another big puncher that was up there. David Lemieux. He fought David Lemieux. So, like I said, Gabe has been in the ring with everybody. And he did look really good in his last fight with Danny Jacobs. You know, we think it was more of a Danny didn't come to fight the way we thought he would come to fight, or Danny didn't fight in the way we thought he would fight. But yeah, Gabe has earned the right to fight anybody. He's been in the ring with everybody, regardless. So fighters like that, is why I kind of get the passion, from, because they don't get their roses. We talk, oh, we want to see the best fight the best, and you should fight this fight. But when somebody does that, y'all don't show them they love. They don't get their roses. Donnell Boone fought everybody. Donnell Boone fought everybody. Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson. He actually knocked Adonis Stevenson out. And then Adonis Stevenson came back and beat him in a rematch. Willie Moore Jr. I mean, Donnell Boone. The Donnell Boone story is a story that I say that many people should look into, because it'll change your mind about boxing. See what I'm saying? When you see somebody who actually got in the ring and fought everybody, like he dropped Andre Ward. He knocked out Adonis Stevenson. He dropped Andre Ward. He had a real good fight with Sergey Kovalev, man. So like I said, man, Donnell Boone has been in the ring with everybody. But a lot of people don't even know who Donnell Boone is. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even know who Donnell Boone is. You know what I mean? You go to the average fan or the casual fan and say Donnell Boone, they don't even know him. So that's these type of stories. Donnell Boone's, the Gabe Rosados of the world, the Zahir Rahims of the world. These type of fighters, Junior Jones, these type of fighters, you know what I mean, who've done things in boxing that people never heard of, but they did what y'all said y'all want these other fighters to do. They fought the best. You know what I mean? Junior Jones knocked out Marco Antonio Barrera when Barrera was supposed to be the guy. But a lot of people don't know that. So I'm saying, then came back and beat him again. But a lot of people don't know that. Before Manny Pacquiao even got the Barrera, dude named Junior Jones had already took care of that. You know what I mean? Had already did that. You know what I mean? So that's just something that's going on. Keeping it moving. Jemell Charlo and David Benividez starting to get hot and heavy over here. They starting to get hot and heavy on their fight. You know, Benividez. Charlo tried to go live with Benividez so they can kind of hash out what they had to say to each other live, but wasn't able to get him on the line. But a lot of people, I like that fight. I like that fight. And Benividez just said he's willing and ready. You know what I mean? He said he's willing and ready. Said, and he predicts a knockout. Hold on, about to bring on one of my guests. What up? What up? Let me put you.
What's going on?
Hey. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, bringing on again the head of Team Lonely Child. You know what I mean? What's going on? How you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm just dialing in, seeing what's up, what you guys got going on for today.
All
What
right.
you talking about today?
Real quick, man. Tell me what Leon Spinks meant to you in the sport of boxing.
Man, you know what? I have to really be honest. And I hate to even say that. I never really watched Leon Spinks that much. Just because of there's two parts to it. I think the first part is what he did accomplish so early in the game, but he beat old Muhammad Ali at having 6 fights and maybe 1 draw at the time, when Muhammad Ali might have been 55-3. So he beat a real old Muhammad Ali. And I just think that, and I hate to say this, but the Spinks could have been a lot better if they didn't let the life of boxing, the outside life, hinder them. They weren't disciplined as fighters. So I never really per se watched them as a sense of just fighters, just because they never really interest me. Their style didn't. I just think that they were just pioneers from from St. Louis, Missouri, and they came in at good times, but just their ups and down career of boxing just showed a lot of just not discipline. So they never interest me, but just as history, they've been a great part of history just because he beat Muhammad Ali at the time that he did. But I also thought that at that time, any great prospect would have beat Muhammad Ali, young great prospect. He was 24 years old. Muhammad Ali was, I forget how old Muhammad Ali was at that time, but I know Muhammad Ali had 55 fights and like 3 losses at that time. So he was well past and beyond his career.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Like right now, right? If a fighter beat Manny Pacquiao and he in his 40s, right? It's still a big victory.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's not. No, it's not.
I think that
it's not. And the reason why I say it's not, these fighters we know stay beyond their time. For whatever, for money or for, we all stay or doing something longer than what we should. I think to beat a fighter, for it to be really notable and recognized like it should, you have to beat them in their prime. I think if you beat a fighter on his way going out, that doesn't give credit. It shouldn't taint or tarnish his legacy at all. That's just my opinion.
But then, like I said, he fought a lot of fighters, man. Leon fought a lot of fighters, man. You know what I mean? He fought.
Yeah, he did. He did. I can't take that away from him. Like I said, I can't take that away from him. But a lot of times, if you watch Leon Spinks, you watch what you would tell your fighter. This is what you don't want to do. This is what you don't want to do in the sport. So, he's not the one that I would, kind of pattern. I would say, hey, you watch them. This is what you don't do. And I can't take anything from them. I can't say that they still didn't work hard. They didn't, do. You still have to work hard to get there, and whatever they did was enough to be where they were. But he's just not one of the fighters that I would say that if I want to show off a young up and coming fighter, a mentor to look at, he just hasn't been one for me. And I'm not trying to take anything. I'm not trying to slight anybody because he's done more than I have. So it's a great thing, but he's just not one I would watch personally. That's just my personal opinion.
Now it sounds like you keep saying, like, because we look at the Spinks as a family. We look at the Spinks as a family because they wanted to.
You look at what?
The Spinks as a family. You know what I'm saying? They're a boxing family.
Right.
I think Mike had an extraordinary career. I think Mike had a great career.
He had a better career. He was a lot better. But it's still the same. I think they stayed too long in the sport. And then they abused the sport along the way. They, we all know, you get in and you get out. You do what you need to do. This sport doesn't last long, and if you stay in, you're gonna taint your legacy. You're gonna taint your career, or it's gonna hurt you. And at the time that they stayed in, they had some warriors in that game at the time. So I don't know, man. Just the Spinks. Like I said, they made history just because of generational history, but they're not somebody I really think about when I deep down and look at boxing. I'm just being honest and have my opinion about it. I like the fact that, hey, where they came from and what they've been able to accomplish. And it is great. I can't knock that, but they're just not somebody that, if I'm going to show an up and coming prospect somebody, it wouldn't be Leon or Michael Spinks.
All right. Well, Mark Breland has came out and unleashed the can on Deontay Wilder. Basically saying he thinks he's done. He'll never be Philly. A few other things, man. I personally told everybody I thought I liked it better when Mark took the high road. I liked it better when Mark took the high road, and I just didn't think he needed to justify the stuff that Deontay said about him with a response. But I understand. What you think about that?
Well, I think, you know, if you keep stabbing at somebody, eventually they're going to stab back.
Fact.
So I think with you know, Dante, he wanted to throw some things out there, and I think it's the better of two evils. I think they're both wrong. I think I would say in Wilder's case, Wilder never got better in boxing. He did what got him there, and see, he survived off what got him there. And I would say he's been ignorant to the fact of knowing that the day may come that you might have to box or you might have to fight, and he never prepared himself for that. I would also say to Mark Breland, why would you train this guy so long for so many years and never teach him how to box? And if he never wanted to, then you should have stood up and not wanted to be his trainer anymore. So you only
That's
allowed
tough.
him to do what he wanted. It's tough because why? We're all in here for money. But at the end of the day, if you take the high road, then they both have to take the high road. They both have to be honest with themselves to say, hey, it was something in this game I didn't do right for Wilder, and it was something in this game that Wilder didn't do right. They both didn't do right. So let's be honest as men at this point. I mean, and that's just the way I see it. I wouldn't train a fighter for all these many years and not prepare him for the next level. And when he got on the next level with somebody who was going to fight him, we see what happens. You can't always knock someone out. We all know that as trainers. Mark Breland knows that himself. So a lot of it I blame on Mark Breland just because I think he should have that Wilder was under his tutelage. So I think that he should have been able to persuade Wilder into fighting a much better style than just always going for the knockouts, because we all know as trainers, there's going to come a day when you can't knock everybody out.
All right. Speaking of that, speaking of training and sparring, we had another scenario came out with Tank and an up-and-coming fighter named Brian Norman, where it's conflicting stories. Tank said he beat him up. He said he beat Tank up. But I asked a lot of people, though, how much stock do we put in sparring? You a trainer.
How
Tell
much
me,
what?
how much stock do we put in sparring?
Well, you know, it all depends on how a fighter is feeling that day. You just never know. Some days you want to spar, some days you don't. Will there be guys that'll give the up on you in sparring sometimes? Yeah, that happens. We also know that doesn't mean that if he got the up on me in sparring, that when the lights, camera, action appears, that he's going to beat me. So, you know, it's just practice. Sometimes you have your good days, sometimes you have your bad days. But these guys, and I think that on Gervonta Davis' point, I think, you know, he has to realize that he is a target. So there's a lot of guys shooting out for him because he is a target. So he may have to minimize his level of professionalism as far as who he spars, when he spars, and what he's willing to do. You know, and if that is not the case, then he has to go in there and just, you know, be prepared for whatever happens. So it's just a give or take. But I just think you can't value any. You can't put a value to that if somebody got out on them in sparring. You just can't.
All right, that's the best way of looking at it. And then Boo Boo, Gabe Rosado said he want to fight Boo Boo Andrade now. You know what I'm saying? Gabe Rosado called out Boo. Yeah, Gabe Rosado.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think Gabe Rosado is fishing at this point. I think that's not a fight for that's not like I wouldn't skill or I mean I think Gabe Rosado,
Your sound starting to mess up a little bit.
Say that again.
Okay. Okay, you came back clear. Your sound was getting sort of.
Yeah. So I just think it's not a good fight for Boo Boo Andrade. You know, he's with a credible promoter. I think he needs to put a stamp on them to make them make something happen for him at this point in his career. It's so sad to see him not having a credible opponent to fight, and he is the real boogeyman in my eyesight. And not saying that he's the only one, but just look at how long this guy's been out there. Look how many opponents have ducked him. I think that at his if he was my stablemate, or if I was a part of his advisor or his team, you know, I would do one or two things. I would say, hey, let's go up and wait, or let's go down, or let's do something to get us a fight. I'm pretty sure there are some valuable fights for him, maybe at a larger weight class, but it just all seems. I just think just don't stay at 160, man. I mean, if they're not willing, go up to 168. Go fight somebody.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You jump in that pool.
Yeah, go at 168. Do something different. Just don't stay there. I mean, maybe he's comfortable. I don't know. I can't really speak for him. But if I was Boo Boo Andrade, definitely I would exercise some different variables there to change the demographics of my legacy.
Well, 168 already jumping, because you know Charlo was talking about the talks with Charlo and Benividez is starting to heat up. So I mean, he might as well go up there and throw his hat in the ring, and maybe he'll get Caleb Plant. Maybe he'll get somebody, you know.
And that's if they're willing. You know, once again, he's been the boogeyman of boxing for such a long time. So we'll see. Like I said, I think he should exercise that opportunity to go up there and see if the Caleb Plants, if the Benividez, if the Durrells, you know, if the who else is there? Billy Joe Saunders. If the Canelo Alvarez will even entertain giving him a fight at 168. I think it's different at 168. There are some guys that are at 168 that probably shouldn't be at 168. Let's say, for instance, Benividez. Benividez probably is not a 168. I'm pretty sure Benividez walk around maybe 200 pounds, not being in the gym. So I'm pretty sure there are some variables there for him to entertain.
All right. So Jemell Charlo went on this great big rant the other day, you know, and I think what it is, I just think he feels disrespected. I think he feels that what he's accomplished and what he's done, he should have more, you know, they should have more respect for him. You know what I'm saying? He should be getting more big money fights, and he should be able to be at another status. He's pretty much cleaned out his division, but one belt. He got every belt but one. So I understand where he comes from. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. I got another one in here. Hey, Mr. Before His Time is in the building.
Hey.
What's going on? Your sound kind of muffled right now. What's good? Lost connection with him for a minute. He'll be back. But like I said, Jemell Charlo feels disrespected. What you feel about that?
Man, I just think Jemell needs to really just chill out a little bit. You know, you are making a name for yourself. You have did some valuable things, or you are doing some valuable things. I think just that 154 weight class, just those guys, just the actual belt being changed so many different times doesn't leave any credibility behind those fighters. So I just think that in time you're going to get your just due if you decide to stay there. I just think sometimes these guys, they want instant credibility of legacies that has been edged in stone by fighters who they fought guys who were much valiant fighters than up to date. So I just think if he takes his time and understands that, hey, what the forefathers did before us was so much greater than what he's doing or what he has done. And he just has to chill out and wait his time. I think I would say, son, just chill out and wait your time. You're on the great path. Just be patient. Sometimes we don't want to be patient. We want to be recognized, and you're going to get your recognition. Just sit back, just wait, and keep doing what you're doing. You're on a great path. You're making good money so far, and if it comes, it comes. If not, just be thankful that you are in this seat at this moment in time in your life, and that you are able to do the things that you're doing. I think sometimes we have to be grateful for what is already in front of us before we look forward ahead.
But wait a minute. You said because the belt changed hands so many times that doesn't put credibility to what he's doing. I think it does put credibility.
No, it doesn't put credibility to other fighters. No, to other fighters. So no, it doesn't put credibility to Hurd. It doesn't put credibility to Rosado. It doesn't put credibility to Rock. It doesn't put credibility to them, because if I'm able to go in there, win the title, and lose it right away, and then not come back and have the opportunity to fight and get my title back, that says something about me. These guys have had opportunities. I'm pretty sure there was some type of rematch clause to exercise to be able to come back and get your title back. But who did?
Jemell did.
Jemell. Oh, but yeah, Jemell's the only one. But come on, who was Tony Harrison? Tony Harrison had already had 2 or 3 losses to those guys in that weight class. So if you're looking at, come on, let's go back, man. Let's break this down for instance. At 154 at the time, or you around the 154 weight class or 147 weight class, around in that weight class, you had Sugar Ray Leonard, you had Hearns, you had the Beast Mugabe, you had Hagler, you had all of those different guys in that weight class that was solidifying, and they were willing to fight each other. And they did trilogies, not even to mention you had Lexus Arguello, you had Roberto Duran. So what those guys, they repeated, they fought each other, they did what they had to do, and those are all legends that I'm calling out. So let's go back and recap. So all those names I called out outside of the Beast Mugabe, those are all legends. Not to mention Earn Pryor. So if we go back and we name Rosado is not a legend. If we go back and we name Tony Harrison is not a legend. If we go back, if we name Hurd is not a legend. So if I have to argue my case, there's no credibility there if you're going to look at fighters, because let's just be honest, who calls out or who is the one critiquing what these fighters are doing? Most of the time you hear from the older fighters, or you hear from the commentators who have been around. So if I have to break it down, who is J-Rock? Who is Rosado? Who is Tony Hurst? These guys aren't really nobody to be credible to say, hey, I did so much. Yeah, you did so much for this era, but you ain't fighting guys who are credible. Not in the boxing standpoint.
You can only fight who's in front of you, though.
But they balloon fighters, though. They balloon fighters. They don't have no credibility to who they really are. When I called out the 154 weight class, when I mentioned the Beast Mugabe, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, those are all legends, man. So I could see if he's really looking for credibility, then come on, fight some legends. Go down to 147 or go up to 160. Do something different. Because really, if you're looking for credibility at 154, it's not there. It's not there. It's not there at all. It's not there at all, bro. It's not there at all.
We talk about Jemell Charlo, Mr. Before his time. We talk about Jemell Charlo. What's your thoughts on his status and how how he felt disrespected and what he's accomplished in the sport?
Jemell Charlo,
yeah.
And back to what he said. Jemell Charlo ain't fought nobody. I mean, what type of credibility do he want? What type of credibility do he want? I mean, let's just not put it just on Jemell Charlo. That's a lot of fighters in this era that's not each other. And what type of credibility if y'all not fighting all the other era? You gotta fight these fighters in your era with respect. The reason why people respect Oscar because when you go on his resume, everybody is on there. And despite what they want to say about Broner, at the end of his career, when you look at his resume, you gonna say, okay, man, he fought a lot of people. He got a lot of credible names on his resume.
I second that.
Lose or draw, he got a lot of names on his resume, and that's what it's about. Because just like he said back then with Hagler and Hearns and all of them. Like all of them fought each other. Robert Durant,
and they went down as legends.
And they fought each other twice.
Right.
We don't even have the trilogies no more.
Yeah.
These dudes, they ain't even, if they really was thinking about money, man, and start tripping off the laws, man, you fight, man. If I fight this other elite fighter, if I lose, I come back, beat him again. Now we set up a trilogy. That's even more money.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are. I think that the path they're going to get money is wrong. I think sometimes, we all know to get a better job, we might have to take a job that's paying less money and approve ourselves. So I just think that the young boy is doing a lot. What he's doing is great. It's phenomenal. I give it to him. But still, I think he just needs to sit back a little bit and just wait his time, and just, if not, then go up or down to a weight class that you can solidify yourself as what you're claiming to be. And I'm not trying to knock any. I don't want, I wouldn't never want him to think that I'm knocking him. I'm just telling him as a critic, as a boxing fan, that if you're trying to solidify a trilogy and you want the fighting fans to really respect you, then, do something like, hey, see those guys for the second time, which I don't think is worth it, or step up or step down, and we'll really see.
Hey, look, another thing to his, I can say, even if he made the effort to try to do that, who knows if them dudes in that weight class going to take the fight, because everybody is done. So
yeah.
He do go up and try to fight a credible name, he still might not get the fight because that person might not even want to fight him.
And Carden, again to what you were saying, that's the whole reason why you can't value or put a value on his greatness, because you got guys out here who they take one loss and they just disappear. Yeah. You couldn't get that back in the day. These fighters weren't disappearing. These fighters were coming back.
Hey, look,
I mean, even though
hey, see, I like Kelly.
I think that they might have caught some of them at the wrong time, but they came back to fight.
What you about to say about Kelly Pavitt?
I said, that's like going to say like Kelly Pavitt. He took that one loss, and we never heard of him ever since after that.
No, he lost again. After
what that? Probably one fight after Bernard?
Nah, he came back, got the belt, and then he lost to Sergio Martinez. Yeah. He got spanked, and then that's.
But hold on, let's mention that. But let's just mention, just like I was talking about before, what killed Kelly Pavitt was the outside world. It's not what you do in the gym; it's what you do outside the gym. So his alcohol use and all of that is what I was saying about the Leon Spinks and the Michael Spinks. That's what hurt him the most. Which, these fighters can't adjust. These fighters lose their mind when they feel like, somebody is beating somebody has beat them. Just like Wilder. Wilder want to point the blame at everybody else, but he don't want to say, you know what, I didn't prove to get myself better. Yeah. But you want to throw everybody else under the bag. I mean, like, hold yourself accountable. You know, like if I go in there, part of it is my mistake and part of it is my trainer's mistake. But, you know, don't go in there and just, you know, he wants to point the blame. Oh, this wrong, that wrong. Oh, man, come on. When you sign this dotted line, you know.
Okay. I mean, part of that issue is, you know, when a person is, you gotta, as a trainer, you gotta be honest with your fighter. You know what I mean? And then he never gave Breland the opportunity to be honest with him. So he just went on and they went down the wrong path. You know what I mean? Like the first thing you should be able to listen. If I'm his trainer, he come to me, I'm gonna say, look, man, what happened? You got your butt whooped. Nah, man, he had something in his gloves. You got your butt whooped. Nah, you put something in my drink. No, the first thing I got to teach you is how not to get your butt whooped. That's step one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I guess we'll wait till he come back. But what you think about that? I know you tired of talking about Wilder.
Yeah, I am, man. Like, I mean, I agree with Steve. Just like you say, I mean, the trainer got to be honest, but the fighter got to be honest as well. And he got to take accountability for what he's not doing too when he in there. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, you got to, you got to be like really dialed in to really getting better as a fighter, man. And I'm sure Wilder knows where his weaknesses is. Everybody does. You know, come on, let's just be real. You know where your weakness is. And it's your duty to go work on that weakness, not go in the gym and work on your strengths, where you good at, and then feel like, oh, okay, well, if I can just fight to my strength, I got a chance to win this. But what if you fight a type of fighter that is going to bring out your weakness? You know what I mean? You can't fight to your strength. You know what you gonna do then? You gotta learn how to make your weaknesses become your strength. And I just don't think. I mean, me personally, I just think Wilder needs to go to the drawing board. It's a lot of other things as a heavyweight that he needs to correct and get better at before you place blame solely on Breland and throw Breland under the bus like that. Because there's a lot of things he need to be doing.
Well, I also said that I feel like, you know, part of the blame is both of them. I think, you know, Mark Breland, he should have at some point in time took the high road and say, listen, if you're not going to do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to train you anymore. You're going to have to get somebody else. So he could have been proactive and prevented this from happening. You know, he allowed that guy to go in there and just knock out. You know, Mark Breland was a nice boxer back in his Olympic days, that he could have taught Wilder a lot more of boxing than just going in there and knockouts. But they figured, hey, he's a 6-figure specimen and that he was going to always be able to do that. But we all know, and you know yourself, at some point in a fight break out, and at some point you're going to have to box. You can't always knock everybody out, because sometimes a knockout it's not going to go tonight. So I just think he just didn't take that opportunity to better himself. That's part arrogance on him, and that's part arrogance on the team, feeling like, oh, this guy was going to go undefeated all his life to do this, and now he's running like a puppy with his tail up his ass because he got his ass whooped. Take the ass whooping and come back. If you can't come back, then, man, it is what it is. Yeah. And I hate to say that, but that's true.
Yeah.
All right, Ugas came out and said, listen, he don't care which one of the fighters he fights. He said he's willing to fight Earl, he's willing to fight Ernst. All he wants is whoever got the other belt, he's willing to fight him. He said he's willing to do what he want to do. He said, don't matter if it's Earl.
Don't nobody want to see Ugas, bro.
He got a belt now. He got the WBL belt.
I mean, that's a whole nother fishy situation on how he even got the belt, first of all.
Speak on it.
But, like, I mean, don't nobody want to see that fight, Carlton.
Why not?
It's Ugas.
He's a WBA world champion.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It's Ugas. Going against Earl
Man, what
Smith.
Ugas got on you, man? What Ugas got on you, man? You love Ugas for some reason, man.
He got something on him because you've been riding Ugas for a minute, and I don't know why.
He the worst Cuban I know, bro. He the worst Cuban I know.
Hold on.
He the worst Cuban. He the worst Cuban fighter I know.
Hey,
hold on. Wait a minute. I got 3 people going on me right now. I got somebody in the comments saying they gave him the belt. Y'all 2
Yeah, let's entertain.
They did.
Hey, let's entertain that. Let's entertain that comment. What did he say?
He said they gave him the belt.
They did.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Can I say something? No.
Go ahead.
I agree. At first, first thing I said was he wasn't a world champion, right?
You agree?
But then I had to think back for a minute. They did take that Sean Porter fight from him. They took that fight from him. He beat Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying?
I can't say much on that. I just think that the interest for me watching Sean Porter Ugas just wasn't there, so I couldn't really tell you what happened on that fight. I would have to go back to come back and say if he did edge out of Sean Porter. But I mean, hey, if you feel so, then there's a lot of fighters out there that has been edged out that has got the W.
Check this out. He said welterweights is on pause. All of them need to get back to fighting, but Ugas is at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. He is. I agree. I agree.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, he's going to fight either Sean or Turner. So, what's your prediction of the fight?
Come on, man.
Do we really have to give our prediction for that?
Give it.
Let the people that's comment, they already know that answer. Ain't none of us on here gonna say Ugas gonna win.
Man, that's a waste of time for PBC, bro.
It's a waste of time.
Hey, that's a waste of time. And you know what? Listen, I gotta play the political side. I never want Ugas to think that I have to give homage to his efforts, his work ethic, and him even being there. It's a hard fight just even getting to that level. So I just think that if he does he has to bring something different, bring the fight or add a little something to his repertoire to make it interesting for the fans. Don't just think that, hey, we are fighting fans, we most critical. So don't just think that you can jump in there and do what you've been doing and make and appease us. So I just think in his defense, really, really zone in and do something different for us to, to change the demographics of how we see things are with him. So, that's just how I feel.
Hey, he gonna have to pull out a Rockman against any one of them fighters. Just a lucky punch, and he knocked him out. That's the only way.
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me. It even surprised me that he went the distance with Sean Porter. But styles make fights.
It don't. Okay. It don't. You know why? They both kind of wild fighters. You know what I'm saying? If I could just go ahead and say that their style is kind of wild. So it just, it makes sense for them wild fighters to go the distance with each other.
So just so we clear, you got Spence and Crawford stopping him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
What about Ugas Thurman?
Depending, it's hard to say with this version of Keith Thurman right now since he's been back and he's been inactive. He's not been fighting, so I can't think to say that he done, dust off more of the rust. To me, it seemed like it's getting more rust added on because he's staying inactive. So I really couldn't say that. I mean, to be honest with you, that could be interesting considering from the last time I seen Keith Thurman. That could be an interesting fight.
Here's the next comment. Another comment says, Ugas is aggressive enough. We've only seen him in the ring against Porter, and he did good. So I'll be being too critical.
We could be. We could be because you know, we have to see the fight. You know, every style makes fights. So maybe we have to see more Ugas. And we would like to see Ugas in his fights. Like I said, in his defense, he would have to bring something for us to be interesting. So if he brings something for us to be interesting, we wouldn't have such a negative outlook on him fighting other fighters. We'll see. I think that's the interesting part about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Before My Time, man. It's been a minute, man. What you got on your mind, man? What's heavy, man?
Man, I'm trying to figure out what I missed, man. What topics? Who did y'all talk that I wanted?
No, you bring whatever topic you want to bring to the table. I know you still been tapped in. What you want?
Definitely, man. I just want to, give a. I'm very frustrated in how, man, boxing is not really how they're doing Gary Russell, man. I really don't. I just don't like it, man. I really feel like it's like when they name all those fighters, them young boys in that division, they seem to always eliminate his name from all that. When they speak of Haney, Tank, Telefimo, Ryan Garcia. They speak of all them names, and when they post all of them up, it's not a Gary Russell on there.
Okay.
And Gary Russell, to me, is better than every last fighter that they put on there.
Listen.
So it's just I don't understand how he's just getting. It seems like he's just getting outcast from this group, and I don't understand that. Like that's.
But you know why though? You know why?
I do know why, but it's frustrating though, and it's frustrating because he needs man, put some respect on that man's name.
Question: should he have took the $1 million offer that they gave him to fight Josh Ward?
Yeah, I think he should. I think he should.
Yes, he should have.
I think even though he felt that he was worth more, and which I've been knowing Gary for a very long time, so I feel he was worth more. But I feel like at some point you have to put a stamp on your career. You have to put a stamp on your name. Sometimes we go to work knowing we're not making enough money, but we still go. So I think at this point in time, he needed to take this fight to solidify. I think he would have beat a Devin Haney easy. Maybe it was the bad time in his life. He had a lot of things going on. A brother died, father was sick. So, that family is very close. So those are some of the demographics that probably weighed on his decision. And, like I said, I just think he should have took it. I think him not taking it, they might throw him on the show for a little while, or he might be just stuck with taking his mandatory. And we don't want to see Gary Russell just have to just be forced with taking a mandatory. We want to see him fight somebody.
Yeah. It's time, especially at this point now in his career. You know what I mean? He needs all the big fights he can get.
I think that Josh Warrington fight would have been a fight that definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I think he should have took that fight too.
He should have took that fight too. Yeah, he should have took that fight too.
I would. And listen, I'm pretty sure this might get close to him. But Gary, come on, man. Like at some point, bro, you know your worth. But sometimes, we always are against the odds in the game. You're here just because you're an odd beater. That motivates you. So just go in there and motivate yourself, even though knowing that they're not going to pay you the money that you want, but it may lead to bigger and better things. So, just reaching out to my young brother, just saying, hey, bro, listen, bro, take that fight. Take one of those fights for a better day. Time is winding down, and we as fans, we love you. We want to see you. So, man, keep pressing on, keep doing what you're doing, but you got to take that risk, bro.
So, hopefully he'll get that Josh Warrington fight. Hopefully they'll rescind that offer because he got to go over there. He got to go to the UK, and he probably gonna have to do it on his own.
Yeah, and that.
I think he blows out Josh Warrington, man. I do. I think he blows him out easy, bro.
Yeah.
I do. I think.
And listen to me, what a stance that would be for them to lowball him on the purse, and then he go over there and kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
That's the motivation there.
Message. That's a message. That's a message to the boxing world, to everybody, man. Man, that's what I say. Put some respect on his name, man.
All right. Why I got you? Bruce Ennis and Lipinets.
You talking me?
Yeah.
You know what, Carter? I've never even seen those guys fight. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really give an accurate take on them. So
okay,
I have never even really seen them fight.
Okay. Well, you know the hot fight that everybody wants that hopefully we can get at the end of the year, and that's Terrence and Earl. You know that's the hot ticket.
I mean, if they gonna make it, man. If they gonna make
it. I think we won't see that fight.
Yeah,
ever?
Make it.
Ever?
No, I mean I just think this year we won't see it just because I don't think I don't think Earl is trying to bend on being at 60-40. You know, I don't know. I just think he needs to split that purse with him.
I think all that goes out the window. I think all
that's what's been put out there, 60-40.
Yeah, both of them want to be the A side.
No, it's impossible.
I think speaking of who may be the A side, I would think Earl is more the A side. But at this moment in time, you know, you guys have been in the amateur ring together. You guys know each other. Come on, man. Let's share this money. And let's keep it moving because this could be a multitude of 2 to 3 more fights.
Yeah. So what? So Terrence Crawford is not willing to be the B side at all, huh?
No.
I think at the end of this year, this fight can happen because right about September, October, I believe, or one more fight. That's it for Terrence with Top Rank. Now, I'm going to say this again so everybody can hear me. If he does not become his own boss or of some sort of, if he re-signs with Top Rank, I don't want to hear nothing else about this fight ever again. If he re-signs with Top Rank, I don't want to hear nobody bring this fight up ever again.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he has a chance to be a free agent. He has a chance to do whatever he wants. I think once that's done, the pot opens up because part of the money that's being held up is Bob's stingy butt. Bob is messing this fight up with holding up the money. That's the problem. That's the problem right there, bro. So that's why I said we can't really talk about that fight. But since we're talking about that fight, who are you picking, Mr. Before of his time? Pick a winner on that fight. Don't do that. You know who you want to pick. Don't start that.
I'm gonna go with Terrence, man.
Whoa! Go ahead. Break it down.
I'm gonna go with Terrence. I mean, I just know, man. Yeah, Earl has been in, you know, he been in the bigger fights and with the bigger names. But I just think, man, you know, Terrence, far as skill wise, he got a little bit more that I feel like that can edge him out. The only thing that I'm worried about and scared about with Terrence is, you know, he will allow himself to get hit, and the thing is, will he be able to take Earl Spence punch? And you know, that's the only thing. But I think, far as skill wise, I think he got enough in his arsenal that he will be able to edge Earl Spence out in a close fight, though, a very close fight. I don't think it's gonna be easy. A very close fight. Earl to me is too flat-footed.
Hold on. All right, in the comments, they said Earl is more battle-tested. We still not sure if Bud can handle an elite fighter.
And that's true. That's true. But I'm just going from the eye test. And from the skill-wise, I just think Terrence got a little bit more. I see ways that you can get Earl. Earl is too flat-footed. He's too flat-footed. So if you move around, give him angles, man, I think that's going to create a problem for Earl. He's way too flat-footed. He needs to stay set. He needs to stay set and planted to fire. If Terrence don't be there for that move and get his stuff off, I think Terrence can win. And then Terrence can hit in both hands.
What you say? What you think?
Well, I stated mine last week that I was going Earl Spence, just because of the last performance. I kind of target the fighters by their last performance. So the last performance, I never thought he would have shut out Danny Garcia. Just the multitude of what he did that fight showed me a lot of difference in what he could do. I just think he pulled, and I also think that when you put a fighter up against the wall, that's just like if as big as we are, if you put a rat up against the wall, he gonna jump out at you. So I just think that right now Earl's back is up against the wall. I think that the accident really was a game changer in his life. So these fighters are gonna really have to show that they could beat Earl Spence at this time. I just think that he shut out of Danny Garcia, and that shutout just really, I never thought he would shut out Danny Garcia like that. And just that shutting out Danny Garcia. Terrence just haven't showed me enough. Just you can outbox Terrence. He has a whole lot of holes in his defense to me, and I just think that the battle test of what Earl Spence had been through, and just what he showed me that night, being able to, come on, we have to just rank Danny Garcia as one of the top welterweights, give or take with the losses or not. He's one of the top, and he just shut his ass out. What did Danny Garcia do that night? Nothing. So I edge it out to Earl. Before, if you'd have asked me, I was all Terrence, but I can't give it to Terrence now. Just Terrence's last fight, he cheated to me. So he cheated to me. I just have to say he took the low road because he couldn't really, I think, on the trade. And see, I'm not a fan of knockouts. I come to see boxing. I come to see your skill level. I come to see what you're thinking about. I come to see what you're going to do, when the storm comes. So I just think he took the high road. He hit the guy in his eye. Anybody. And I just think, Brooks, he should have covered his defense. He left his eye open there. And if I poke you in your eye, what you going to do? That was just the easy way out. So I didn't like that. When I saw that Kell Brooks was winning on the trade, on the combo trade. So we'll see, man. That's what makes it interesting. Everybody has their different opinions. I don't agree. I don't disagree with what he said. I don't disagree, but also, I have my outlook on it too. So we'll see.
I thought, here's my thing. Watching them coming up at first, right? I thought it was going to be exactly how you were explaining it first. I thought it would be more of Terrence boxing and Earl trying to catch him. But after watching them, I think Earl may be the better boxer.
Yeah, me too.
Earl may be the better boxer. So
me too.
Now it comes down to this for me. My whole thing is take a put on the fight, and I ain't going to hold you. I think it comes down to if Earl boxes like he boxed against Mikey and Danny, does Terrence got that inner killer in him?
Let me ask you that. We all saw that fight, right?
Which one?
The Earl Spence and Danny Garcia fight. To me personally, yeah, he beat Danny Garcia. He shut Danny Garcia out. But that version of Danny Garcia, I don't know what version of that Danny Garcia was, because he didn't even throw no punches for real. He didn't even look like he came to fight. I disagree. He not about to. Terrence Crawford gonna come to fight. He gonna throw some punches back at Earl.
Hey, he's not gonna be able to bully Earl Spence though. He bullies everybody. He's not gonna be able to bully Earl Spence.
I don't expect him to win the bully game, that's what I think that's what's going.
But if he can't win the bully game, then he loses. He loses.
We'll see. I think.
And I would say Earl's the harder hitter out of both of them.
I agree with that. That's
so we're gonna see when he takes Earl punches what he does.
That's why I said Terrence does. What scares me about Terrence is
he takes too many punches.
Allow Earl to hit him, and that's the question. That's the number one question. Are you gonna be able to take Earl's power?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's holes. It's holes that I see a lot in Terrence Crawford's D. But I just think Terrence Crawford got enough he's just not a stationary guy. And Earl has been fighting a lot of guys that's picture perfect for him. They gonna stand right there in front of him.
No.
Name me one that moved.
Chris Algieri.
No, he didn't. He beat
Porter moved.
I mean, move like how we know the move, Steve. Not Porter move.
Oh no, there's not.
Porter move in reckless, wild intent, and that right there is just frustrating for a fighter.
Chris Algieri is not a stationary fighter.
Chris Algieri didn't even fight the way he normally fight against Earl Spence.
Because he cut the ring off.
He didn't. No, he didn't. No, he did. I'm telling you, he did not fight. That Chris Algieri that I saw against Earl Spence wasn't the same Chris Algieri that I saw against Amir Khan.
Well, I think he fought Chris Algieri the same way he fought Danny Garcia. He immense to the body, and he was avid at the body all night. And I just think
that's because
him checking the body really slowed everything down. We also know that any given night, if a man checking you to your body all night, that's gonna slow your movement down.
I agree, but you got it. If a man is moving and can't touch your body, then it makes it hard. All of them dudes,
but he was getting touched.
All them dudes, Danny Garcia, we already know Danny Garcia flat-footed. He ain't about to bounce around, move around, give you no angles. He pretty much is a stationary target. But what Danny Garcia did, Danny Garcia just didn't throw nothing.
Hold on. Hey, the comment, check this out. He said, you keep saying people don't fight like they usually do. It's because of Earl they're not fighting like they usually do.
You could be right. Hey, you could be right. I mean, hey, I can't disagree with him on that. I can't.
Come on, what you gotta say about that?
I mean, I don't see Earl. To me,
styles make fights.
It could be maybe they scared or something, or maybe they just not trying to fight. It could be. I agree. It could be, but they not fighting. They're not fighting. I mean, tell me what.
But I mean that's what you want, though. That as a trainer, that's what I want. I want to take the opponent out of his comfort zone.
I mean, for Danny not to throw no punches, Danny wasn't even fighting, wasn't even trying.
Stop saying that.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree. That wasn't to get Danny Garcia.
He didn't put up a good effort, bro. He didn't put up a good effort. I seen Danny Garcia fight harder than that. He didn't put up a good effort in that fight, man.
Can I say something, though? Can I say something? What everybody thought was this. We all want to see. First thing we want to know is, how does he look after the accident? Is he showing any residue? Danny and them thought that Earl was going to come out and really stay away from him to try to get the cobwebs out. When that bell rung, he came straight to Danny. He came straight to him and put Danny on his back foot. From the round one, he had said that I'm going to be the bull in this fight. And Danny wasn't ready for that.
But hey, look, that to me personally,
hey, that turns Crawford. Go ahead.
To me, if that was the game plan, that was not smart by him.
That was a hell of a game plan, bro.
I wouldn't have thought anything different from Earl, because Earl don't got nothing else other but come forward. So what other gear does he? What other gear is he gonna put? Why would I expect for Earl not to come forward? I'm gonna be ready for the use. See, the crazy part about it was Earl had this accident, and everybody thought that the accident was going to affect him and stop him, and he was going to I told you a long time ago, Carlton, I didn't trip off the accident. I told you I thought he was going to be perfectly fine after this accident. He's going to be perfectly fine. So I don't know why Danny Garcia would take that type of game plan towards it. Take him for what he is. He gonna come out the same way he been coming out.
Let's look at another thing. Early in that fight, he touched Danny. He touched him a few times. And you could tell a couple of those shots he didn't agree with. So he made a business decision. Because let's be clear about something. Had Danny opened up, he was going to sleep. Had he opened up and tried to go for broke like he normally do, he was going to sleep that night.
Yeah, I think at some point in the fight he tasted he tasted that punching power, and he probably knew that
He made a business
it was what they say it was.
He made a business decision.
Yeah, I mean the Charlo brothers, both of them have stamped the punching power of Earl. So one of them at 160, so they know.
That's a possibility that happens in boxing. You know what I'm saying?
So I would say that we've never seen turns. We've seen him get hit, but we've never seen him deal with an Earl Spence punch. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll definitely see.
Yeah.
All right. So
any more comments out there?
Yeah.
Let's entertain a few more comments, and then I'll let y'all continue.
We gotta go to the next topic. I already hit
okay.
We got so why I got you, Teofimo and Devin Haney, or Teofimo and Tank and Ryan. While we here, go ahead.
I don't think I don't. Well, let's touch Ryan and Tank. I don't think Ryan is ready for a Tank, in my opinion. Not right. I know a lot of people looked at that fight against Luke Campbell, and he showed, they felt like he showed, it was a lot of character that was shown in that fight, and I agree it was. I do agree it was, but man, I just don't. When to me, I think, man, when Tank get into kill mode, man, I don't think Ryan gonna be able to take Tank's kill mode. I really don't. And to me, if Ryan don't got nothing, if Ryan don't pack a punch that can pause Tank and put him in his tracks, then Ryan gonna be in trouble, because that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take for you to pause Tank to put him in his tracks. Because let's just go back to it was Leo Santa Cruz, right? Now Leo Santa Cruz was winning, and to me he was winning too. He was winning, and Leo, but for some reason in that fight, Tank's he had the I don't give a fuck button on. Like, he didn't care. He kept coming until he got what he needed to get when he was on his coming forward and coming after him. I just think a fighter like Tank, you're gonna have to be able to pack a punch to stop him in your tracks, and he gonna have to respect your power too to slow him down, because when he get in kill mode, he coming. And if Ryan is not prepared for that, then I see Ryan losing.
Somebody said Tank should move on. Ryan played himself. Tank should fight Lomachenko, Haney, or Shakur.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, because I just think the money is with Ryan Garcia, though. I think that I also think that, hey, if Ryan, by some possibly chance, was able to catch Tank, that he may have enough power to do damage on Tank. We also know that Tank at some point leave himself open to go for the kill. I do agree with him as taking the kill. I think that once Tank gets in kill mode or guerrilla mode, or however he says it is, that it's do or die for him. And I think that when a fighter does that, I don't care if you throwing a kitchen sink at him, it might not matter. He's coming to get you. But I would say that it's the matter of who hits who. So I can't say that Ryan Garcia may not have the ability to catch him. And if he catch, I would like to see him catch Tank just to see how Tank reacts. So we'll see. I think the variables are just still on the table with that. I just don't want to think he blows him out of the way. I really do. But I think we won't see any boxing in that fight. No. I think that's a matter of whoever catch who first and finish him. It won't be no boxing in that fight.
Not at all.
I think that's an ugly brawl fight, and I think Tank wins that fight if Danny can't catch him with the right. I mean, if Ryan can't catch him with the right punch.
If somebody said Ryan way too flat-footed.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna stop saying somebody. It's my man Talib, man, from the Boxing the DC group, man. The Boxing the DC group show us big love every time we
appreciate you.
Every time we go live. So yeah, man,
appreciate you.
Now, when this thing is all said and done, if they had like a round robin Super Six, this 135 division, who's the last man standing?
You call out the fighters first.
Call out the fighters. Call out the fighters.
Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, maybe Lomachenko still around. Who's the last man standing?
For me, it's Teofimo Lopez.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I think the reason why I say it is because Teofimo beat the gorilla. He beat the gorilla. He beat the number one man, and he beat him in style. This kid I had been watching for a long time. I got a chance to meet him with my son, and we got a chance to talk to him for a while. So this kid has been known to knock fighters out. I think the last fight that we saw him fight in that we had got a chance to talk to him, he went the distance with that fight, and he said it taught him something, and he learned a lot. And he said that him going forward, that he would fight differently because of this fight. And I think when he fought Lomachenko, that he showed that night. He was a pure boxer. He did not allow Lomachenko to do what Lomachenko does. And something about the Loma that night that I don't think that I saw the right Loma. So I would like to see a rematch on that just for him to solidify. Yeah, I would. I would like to see him have a rematch with Loma just to solidify that, I am the king. But if I have to pick one, Teofimo is my man. I think he's the pure boxer and knockout artist at that weight class.
Hey, I think that fight deserves a part two anyway because it's Lomachenko.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I just think that fight right there, it deserves a rematch. It really does. I would really want to see that again because I'm in agreement with him. Like I just don't think it wasn't the same Loma. You know what I mean? It was a lot of things. Loma just it just wasn't right.
All right, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna put this out there. If they fight again, if Teofimo Lopez fights Vasily Lomachenko again, I got Teofimo stopping him. He stops Lomachenko if they fight again. He's going to stop him. It's not going to the card. He's going to stop him. You know what I'm saying?
I can't disagree with you on that. A reason why I can't disagree because I just think Loma might have did things wrong.
I wonder what he mean by that. He might have done things.
He'll come back in. Okay, got the comment. He said, look at Lopez's face. Lomachenko tore his face up. He started fighting in the 7th round. Lopez may have a problem. I stand by this. I'm gonna let you in. I think that he fought that way he fought because when you're looking across the ring, right? He was looking for Teofimo to come across the ring and be a little bit more wild, a little bit more reckless, so he can pick his shot. But he didn't do that. He stood back in a posture and a stance that made Lomachenko say, hold on, wait a minute, let me see where that, because he know it's some hot sauce on that popcorn when I go reaching in there. So
I agree. And that's why he fought. He fought like he was trying to figure him out or he was trying to stay away from his power. It was either or. Then it felt like late into the fight, he started getting to his bag a little bit and starting to figure out. So he started going to the pivoting and side to side movement that we know we seen from Lomachenko, and it looks to me like he started getting the momentum of the fight. But I just think at that time it was too late because he had let Teofimo pile up too many of the rounds at that point.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let you back in. In that 12th round, he hurt Lomachenko for real. He hurt him. He hurt him for real.
He did.
He put him in survival mode. See, and that right there was to let you know that just in case, I can hurt you. See what I'm saying?
I can't disagree with you on that. I have to agree because that might have been the reason why we asking the question of why we didn't see Lomachenko fight until the 7th round. So that might have, but I do think that he did solve the puzzle after the 7th. I just think the 12th. That Teofimo did what every boxer should have did and was like, I'm going out with this tonight. And he showed the world that he was willing to put it all on the line in the 12th. I think that if Loma needed that 12th round, that definitely Teofimo stole it from him.
He stole it from him. Took it. Yeah, he did.
Okay. Somebody said, I mean, my man said Lopez couldn't handle the pressure. Look at it again. It would be a great rematch. I'm not saying that that's going to be a great rematch. I'm not saying it's a fight worth watching. I will fry the chicken and fry the
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. We want to see the rematch.
I just think that at the end of this rematch, he's going to put that man down.
maybe. Listen, sometimes I know a loss makes fighters better. We'll see. I don't think that Loma has been on top for any reason. I mean, is he valuable? I would think so. Please, I would say that we all have to give him his chance. I think he deserves a chance by his accomplishments to come out and have a rematch and get a shot at getting his throne back. I'd like to see a rematch. And to be honest, I would like to see the rematch before he fight anybody else. I don't want to see. I want to see the rematch right now. Give Loma a chance, and then I want Loma to give everybody else a chance and don't run. Give the Devin Haney's a chance. Give the Tanks a chance. So we'll see. That's what makes boxing interesting.
I think if he fight Teofimo again, he ain't got to worry about getting nobody else a chance. That's my.
Hey, listen, I can't say that you're wrong. You could be right. So.
I'll tell you right there. That man gonna be waving, or he might end up getting the ring light.
And here's the thing, I do not disagree with you because out of all of them that you name, Teofimo has had the better knockouts to me. He has had the stylish knockouts, and he has had, this kid has went in there and boxed you and knocked your ass out. So out of all of them, I think he's number one. But I still think that the former number one has a little something to prove.
Yeah.
All right. Another comment. I give it to the young lion, but Lomachenko showed that Teo can't fight well going backwards, and he swells too easy. I don't think it matters.
I don't know. We would have to see the rematch.
Yeah, we would have to see the rematch because he didn't do too much in that fight of putting Teofimo going backwards. He didn't make him really go backwards that much in that fight. So only the rematch can answer that question right there.
And my personal opinion, I think when the dust settles, my pick to be the number one is Devin Haney. I pick Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney is the best boxer out of all of them. My personal opinion. Now, except for Shakur. Now, out of everybody, I like that Shakur the best. I like that Shakur. I like that Shakur Stevenson. But in this 135 right now, until Shakur get up there, I like Devin Haney more than all of them. I do. I like
it. You could add Shakur Stevenson in that pipe. I would still pick Teofimo though.
Oh, give me Shakur. I like Shakur.
Yeah, I would still pick Teofimo. Shakur to me doesn't have a knockout power just yet. I haven't really seen it to that magnitude that Teofimo has fought, and I just think that Teofimo is just that Loma fight solidified him for me.
So Teofimo and Tank, what you think Teofimo edges out Tank?
Yeah, I think he edges out Tank too. I think he'll outbox Tank. I think Tank can't come and just see, and a lot of times we may go on sparring, like we've seen them spar years ago, and we kind of take that and run with it. But like I said before earlier, you can't value a fighter by sparring. Give or take, you never know. Some days we don't feel like sparring, but when the lights, camera, action is on and it's worth the purse, we all gonna get a different fighter that day. So I just think as far as a boxer that shows me a little bit of everything out of all of them, I pick Teofimo. I think that Devin Haney, he showed me in his last fight that he's still maybe a few years away.
You know what? A lot of people, he said T.O., he think T.O. will fight 2 more fights at 135 and move up.
I think so too.
I think so too.
I think so too.
They also said T.O. fights flat-footed, and that's easy for Tank to walk down.
But I agree with him being a little flat-footed, but he's a pure boxer though. He has shown us, because at first, before he fought Lomachenko, we was thinking that, oh yeah, Teofimo Lopez is just a knockout artist, but he boxed the socks off Lomachenko.
I don't even think Tank versus T.O. would be a good fight. I don't. I think they'll spend so much time. I don't think Tank and Teofimo Lopez will be as exciting a fight as people think it is. I think their style is going to clash. I think they're going to spend more time roughing each other up. There, it's not going to be too much clean action to me.
I agree with you. I agree. I think there is some bad blood between them two because they have previously sparred, and I think Tank might have felt like he got the better of those. So I think that Teofimo would have to be smart that night to really to bully the bully. So I think if he boxed Tank a little bit and moved out Tank way, it might expose Tank and leave him open. So yeah, I do agree with you on that.
What you got, Mr. Before It's Time?
I agree. I agree. I think that Teofimo, he probably be able to get Tank too if he, outbox him, because they do probably got a lot of bad blood from that the Spawn thing, and I think Tank will, just like I said earlier, Tank gets in the kill mode. How you can beat that, man? Outthink him.
Yeah.
Outthink. That's all.
Yeah.
Outthink him.
Well,
don't get caught.
We also know that sometimes when you, just like with the Wilder situation, what's going to happen when Tank can't knock everybody out?
Yeah, that's true. Then it becomes that's true.
I think he got more in his tank than just knockouts, though. I think he do got more in his tank than that.
Well, then let the fans see. Then let the fans see.
I think he got more in the arsenal than that.
I've seen more. I've seen more. But fighters sometimes do what they're comfortable doing. Sometimes they just do what works for them.
Okay, listen. Just like most of the world that ain't never been in the gym with Teofimo Lopez didn't know he could do what he did to his Lomachenko.
Exactly, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I'm about to step out though, man. I had a good time, so I'll catch you guys later.
All right, man.
All right, later.
All right. What else you got, man? I gotta get you while you here, baby.
It's been a while, man. It's something I just want to see. Man, I want to see all the good fights. I mean, I'm really disappointed in boxing right now, man, because it's just like, man, they wasting time. They wasting a lot of these talented fighters' time, man. Like, man, make these fights, man. The promoters, I can say, are totally in the way. And partly, I say the fighters also need to make a stand and cut the promoters out as well. And just, man, say, hey, man, regardless of what you think or how you feel, I shouldn't fight this dude. I'm going to fight him.
My man said he headed to the gym, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you tapping in with us. And
appreciate it.
And the comments, the whole nine, man. Shout out to Boxing the DC group, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
Man, it's a group, man. Listen, on Facebook, y'all, Boxing the DC. Hey, that's where it's at, man. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna be in that group till it's over, man. It's love, baby. Cause like I said, they show us love every single time, and I gotta show them love.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I didn't like what I saw coming when I seen how everything was planning out. It looked like the first half of the year you're gonna see a whole bunch of keep busy fights. I hope that this leads to at the end of the year. I hate to wait until the end of the year, but I hope that leads to some blockbuster fights at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope, but they dilly dallying.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
So,
man. This was good, man. It's been a while. We got to get back, man.
I'm here, baby. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make 3 o'clock our designated time. 3 p.m. every Monday at least, and then we might do a couple more days during the week, but definitely 3 o'clock every Monday is gonna be it, baby.
All right, that's a bet.
All right, man. We're gonna sign out here from Team Lonely Child Boxing.
Yeah.
And AKA the Apostle, my man, AKA before his time is back.
Yeah.
He is back.
Let's go, man. Thanks for everybody for their comments, man. Appreciate it. We need more. All
right, homie.
All right.
Back.